Hi students, let's get back to our slides. Okay. Hi students, let's get back to our talk. Right, okay. I would like to share this one. Let me share it. Students, can you able to see the screen? Sorry, I can't. Okay. Now I believe it's yes, right? Okay. Right, students. Let's have a quick chat about the discussions whatever we had on Tuesday, I guess, as our first talk about the biomedical entrepreneurship, and the talks whatever we are talking currently. Right, so we have another 1 hour in order to finish this talk and in order to provide you the summary about all these ideas, how you can become a successful business person or an entrepreneur in your future, right? So does anyone have any ideas? Could anyone share their thoughts about their ideas? Do you think that you would like to become an entrepreneur, or do you have any business plans in future? Do you have any? Anybody? Does anyone have any business plans or business ideas, or before or after having this lecture? Or would you like
Not
to?
at the moment, sir.
Yeah, great. Okay. So initially, it's fine. It's all up to you. It's your personal call, right? So my suggestion is, since I am from the I'm from the industry, and I'm also running my own business, right? So from my experience, right, I would like to share you my thoughts and my experiences with you, maybe in a couple of minutes. uh, if you are having your idea or having your own thoughts or having your own guts in order to compete in the industry, it's totally fine, no need to worry. But a couple of things you need to consider in order to jump into the industry, right? So you have to make sure that whether you have enough experience. That doesn't mean you have to have 10 years or 20 years or 30 years of experience in order to start up your own business. Experience in the sense, you have to make sure that you have enough knowledge in order to solve the issues whatever you will face in the industry. If you really believe that one, then it is considered as that you are having enough knowledge, right? So having the ability or having the knowledge or having the self confidence of solving your own issues from your own path, that is known as experience, right? So if you really believe that you are having that one after working for a certain time period, maybe some people get enough experiences within the period of 6 months, some people obtain experiences for 5 years, some people obtain it for 10, 20, 30 years, right? It depends from personal perspectives, personal views and personal opinions. All are giving factors on these personal experiences, right? So it's all up to you. But financial side, you have to think whether what type of business you are going to do or how much you are going to raise your funds. We are going to look into it, the methods of getting the fundings and all, right? Maybe in these or in the following slides. having a good experience and having a good exposure about your industry. So you, once you start what type of business, you have to do your market research along with good network. You have to develop the good networks, right? So I already insist you to have your own good networks. Relating to your field is very important. It's very vital, because why? Network provides you the support in order to develop your business. You support their business, they support your business in order to grow together, right? So having a good network is very important to have your own business. And having the fundings and also having the finance, these are the important factors. You have to keep it in your mind, right? So as of now, still you are not in the industry and you are still studying, I would like to suggest you, from my personal experience, just go in the industry and work for a while. That's my humble request, right? Because why? Once you start working in the industry, whether you are working in a hospital or R&D side or in a company, that's totally fine, right? Once you start working in the industry for somebody, then only you will be able to understand how the real industry works, what are the procedures, the real things, right? Because whatever you are studying in the books or whatever you are studying to pass your degree, that is only for obtaining your degree, right? The real industry works in a different way, right? There are so many other steps whatever you need to take apart from the academics, right? So work for an industry for a certain time period and try to update yourself, develop yourself and learn from the industry. Then you can think about having your own business. Once you have enough guts and confidence that you obtain enough knowledge in order to have your own path, you can start it up, right? So initially, don't think as a fresher to go for a business, because you don't know, you know nothing about the industry, right? So learn the industry by working for someone for a while, maybe 6 months or minimum 6 months to 2 to 3 years. That will be an enough period to get an good experience. Then as per your fundings and financial support and having a good network, these factors will suit you, and these factors will trigger you to go for your own way. Okay, right? Now let's talk about the very important thing about fundings, right? So fundings are the key major, they are very important. The major role plays by the fundings, right? Because why? If you have a good plan and if you do not have enough fundings, again you are unable to go for the next step, because financially you are having a huge barrier, right? So now I would like to give you some insights. Though you don't need to spend from your own pocket, you don't need to take loans from the bank. That's one of the way, but that is not only the way, right? So I would like to give you some insights about, even if you are having the guts and if you are having a good idea, how you find the fundings, right? So fundings and investments overviews, right? So fundings, there are two terms, fundings and investments. Fundings, you by yourself, you are looking for someone or some places or some other methods to pump the money by yourself, right? So you are the hero, you put your effort in order to bring money from outside into your business. Investment, there are third person who are trying to put money on your business, right? So there are two types of peoples involving here. Fundings, you are doing it, you are with your effort, right? So with your effort you are bringing money, that is called fundings. Investment, sometimes you are also in the field of investments, so sometimes you are also playing a role in the investment, but you are not putting money, you are not putting too much hard for that, but you are bringing a third person who is having a huge amount of money but lacking of knowledge. He doesn't have enough knowledge, so that he is putting his huge amount of money into your own idea with the name of investment. So investment, a third person comes. Fundings, where no one comes, you and your effort, right? So how you are, so in both ways you are going to get money at last for your own business, right? So how you are going to collect these things, right? So let me give you some ideas. You know the capital need for R&D, production and scaling, right? So everything is done with the help of money, so you need it, obviously, you understand. So that's the importance of these steps, right? So what are the types, how we are going to get the fundings, how at last it's money matters, right? So how we are going to get this, what are the ways? Bootstrapping, angel investors, venture capitals, and grants, right? So bootstrapping is kind of too much technical term. Once you have to talk with about the manufacturing processes with your investors, and once they satisfied, they will be able to pump their money. Angel investors, those guys don't have any ideas. They are acting as an angel for your business, right? They just simply pump the money, but you have to have some kind of deal, some shares or some kind of the holdings of your own products or whatever the deal you are making with that. Venture capital, again, you have to pitch the ideas. So there are some certain programs. Sometimes you may have seen Shark Tank or some other similar programs where you can see in US it is very famous, right? So they publicly announce that those who are having enough money, they are publicly call for people who are having ideas but less money, right? So you have to participate in such events, and then you can pitch your idea. Pitching ideas means you have to tell your idea along with your prototype, or you have to convince your investments, right, by telling your ideas and finding out a suitable investor, right? So this is called venture capital. And grants, so grants are such as government bodies or some non-governmental bodies where they are able to help you, where they are able to provide you to release funds with a small amount of profit in return, right? Okay, so these are the ways. Of course, we are having these facilities in Sri Lanka as well. If you are really interested, you can just Google it about venture capital places or venture capitals in Sri Lanka, right? So you will be able to find it out, right? Definitely. Stages of fundings. So once you get an investor, or once you find out a pathway for your products or for your businesses, there are certain stages that you need to pass in order to get each and every phase of the fundings. Because even in my first talk about these matters, I already mentioned, if you are having an investor, doesn't mean that you are having all the money at your hand, right? So nobody is going to release all the funds. For example, if you need only 10 million or 1 crore for your business, nobody is going to tell, or nobody is going to give you 10 million, all the money at once with a single shot. No, it is not working like that, right? So initially, stage by stage, phase by phase, they are releasing. So first stage, they are releasing maybe 10 lakhs or 2 lakhs or 3 lakhs, or in crores. First stage, they will release 10 million or some certain amount of money, and they will make sure that you are utilizing the money and you are using the money along with your proposal, or whether you are following your proposal and you are showing some results. They must be satisfied with each and every steps of your phases, so that they will have, or they will build trust on you. Yeah, this guy is performing well, he is just following his steps, we know what he is doing on the market, right? Definitely he is going to make profits. So these are the beliefs that they have to be on you in order to go for the following phases, right? So if you fail with the first step, they will consider, or they will think whether they have to release the second phase funding or not, because why? You failed in the first phase, right? So you have to achieve success. You have to successfully fulfill or complete each and every phase in order to go for, it's like a computer game, right? Once you pass the phase, then only you will go for the next stage. If you fail, then you have to replay again, right? But in real life, there are no possibilities to replay within the business, because once you lose trust, it is done. You have to go for other venture capitals, where the first one, always they have the network. The capitalists, the investors already having in the networks amongst them. So if you fail, or if you cheat someone, or if you conduct some misplacements, or if you conduct some misbehaviors along with your first investor, you are out of the market, obviously, because no one is going to fund you as a second person, right? Because it will be a black mark on you, right? So make sure that you are passing each and every phase. You are building trust from your investors, so that you can achieve each and every phases of the investments or fundings, right? So don't think that you are getting all the fundings at one as a single shot, right? It is not like that. Even if you are doing a project as a project engineer, you have to go with so much things in order to get the fundings phase wise, right? Okay. So funding wise, there are a bunch of things, a bunch of technical terms you need to know. Seed fundings, which is initial capital for concept and prototype development. So this is phase 1 or phase 0, right? So the seed funding, the first funding whatever you are going to get in order to grow your plant. Seed is the first stage for the entire plant, right? So similarly, seed funding is the very first funding you are getting from the investors, whoever you pitched your idea, in order to go for the next step, right? So during the seed fundings, as a result of the seed fundings, you have to provide some results. You have to show the results that you are valuable person, you are successful with your prototype, that is working, right? So that they will happy and they will release for the phase 1 or phase 2, the following fundings, right? So series, as I told you, it is happening series wise, A, B, C, grow funding for scaling and marketing expansions, right? Okay. Strategy for long-term financial planning. Of course, you have to have a good financial planning. You have to show it happens at the beginning. I explained you in the first talk. Because why? Whatever the technical term, that will be too much for the investors, because investors, some people are having a technical knowledge, some people doesn't, right? But most of the investors have enough money. That's why they became investors, right? Whatever the technical talk or whatever the technical product you are talking, sometimes they may not able to understand, to be frank with you. But at the end of your talk, you have to show some financial plannings, right? How much you are requesting from them. In return, how much you will be able to return as an as a profit, and how long you will take for that, right? So it depends, it matters. That's the very important report where they are going to select whether they are going to pump money into your business, right? Because why? Let's say, for example, you are getting a crore from an investor over the period of an year, and in return, after an year, in return, if you fail to repay the 1 crore, or if you simply pay the 1 crore, it is not a good business. Nobody is going to have a deal with you. Because why? You are just simply returning the 1 crore which is already there before a year ago, right? So nobody likes that. Even if you are an investor, will you go for that deal? Because why? Within a period of 1 year, how much generations you would have made over the 1 crore, right? If you put that in the bank, simply you have some interest, right? So what's the point of giving this 1 crore into this guy for his own idea? I'm not getting any profits. I just get back my own 1 crore after a period. It's waste of time. Nobody is going to make a deal like that, right? So these two cases are very worst. If you fail to return, or if you return the exact amount over the period of a certain time, nobody is going to make deal, right? So in your return, in your financial planning, you have to make sure, right, in your return, that you are multiplying with some certain x times, 1 into 5 times, or 1.5 times, or 2 times. You have to convince them. If they put the money in the bank, and if they put the money to you onto your business, what's the benefits, right? So see, for example, let's say if they put the same amount of 1 crore into the bank, for an example, let's say they are getting 2 lakhs or 5 lakhs in return as an interest, right? But if they give the exact amount to you for your business, you will be able to provide them 10 lakhs. So that's how you have to convince them. Because why? Every investor likes to multiply their money. That's they became investors, right? They invest on certain products to multiply their money, right? So you have to understand, during your financial planning presentations, you have to convince them. Because why? Some people doesn't understand the technical talks, as I mentioned earlier, but everybody understands about your financial planning, right? It matters, right? So your financial planning is very crucial for the pitch up. Sources of fundings. So these are the sources. Obviously, you can go for your fundings. So angel investors, as I told you, high net worth individuals providing seed capitals, right? So every investor is having a huge amount of money. Venture capital, professional firm investing in high potential startups, right? So venture capitals, they are kind of firms or offices or organizations where you can pitch ideas and get money. So if it is an individual where you are getting money, we call them angel investors. If it is a firm or it is an organization or if it is a body, we call venture capital, right? Crowdfunding, it's a very interesting one. Look at this one. Crowdfunding, raising small amounts of capital from a large amount of people. That means crowdfunding, you can do the crowdfunding, even it happens in Sri Lanka as well, right? So you can Google it, crowdfunding places in Sri Lanka, how can I get crowdfunding in Sri Lanka for my startup ideas, right? So you will be able to obtain a couple of things, right? Because why? There will be a public event. You have to tell your idea in the public stage. Those who are like to contribute, it is not kind of an investment, right? It is kind of a funding. Nobody is going to ask you any return. They are going to contribute. If somebody puts $100 or if somebody puts $1,000 for you, it depends on their capacity, depends on the likeliness of their project concept, whatever you are talking on the stage, they can put their money, right? So they are not asking you returns in crowdfundings, right? Government grants, it is kind of a government subsidies for people who are making some business plans, so non-dilutive funds for research and developments and all, right? So government as well as non-governmental bodies are providing or they are supporting some business plans as well, right? So it happens in Sri Lanka. You can get loans, that's which come getting loan from the bank for your businesses is one of the government grants, right? Okay, preparing for investments. So before get into these kind of investments, right? So initially, we learned about how to become a successful entrepreneur. In order to become a successful entrepreneur, we learn about how to do the market research and all. And then we learned about if we are very successful doing the market research and if we know what are the products by defining our business, we need money. Right? So how we are getting money, that's what we are discussing currently through the fundings and all, right? Fundings and investments, right? So now, in order to go for the stage of getting the fundings and investments, what are the ways that we have to prepare ourselves, right? So let's get into it. So pitch deck, key components, problem, solution, market, business model, team, financials, right? That means you have to define exactly what are your resources, what are your pros and cons or advantages and disadvantages in order to make a report. So in the report, whoever reads or whoever is sitting and watching your presentation during these investments or project pitching, they have to understand clearly exactly about you, about your limitations, about your financials, ability and capability. Everything must be understood by the investors so that they will be able to make sure that you are a respected or you are a believable person in order to put their money on you, right? The second thing is due diligence. Sometimes if you are working in the companies, you may have seen it means preparing an entire document about it, what are for how many employees, what are the salary, all A to Z reports about a company is called due diligence, right? So if you are having your own company or if you are selling your products or if you are making some if you already have a business and sometimes you would like to sell your company, you have to go for the due diligence, right? So due diligence is making an exact report about your entity, right? So other one is networking, very important one, importance of industrial connections, right? So because why? You do not have a personal relationship, you haven't seen the investor before, he also doesn't know about yourself, right? So that's the very first incident you are looking at, or you are getting connected to the investor at the stage or during this event, right? So project pitching event, right? So nobody knows, you both doesn't know each other earlier, right? So you both are new to each other, right? So how you are going to build trust on you? You have to make the trust, you have to create the trust from the investor that you are capable, you are worth enough, right? Because some people think that he is having a good idea, he's having a good business, if he invests money, what's the assurity that he stays in the market, he do whatever he wants to do, whatever he wants to show us to do, and if he will succeed and he will return the money back to us. What's the assurity, right? So that they will have some misconceptions on you, right? So in order to break that ideas, in order to make sure that they think that you are valuable, you are worth, you have to show your network, you have to show your capability in the social media, your ability, your connections in the social media. Hey, I have done project with this company already, these guys know me, they have provided reviews, these are our addresses, right? So trusting or constructing the belief from the investors is very important, right? So that is a core thing, a very fundamental and vital thing you have to do in order to get the fundings, right? So one of it, you have to show your networks, right? So network, not net worth. You have to show your networking ability, capability to the investors, so that they will believe, yeah, this guy know this guy. He is okay, he is already running the business, or he is already launched some similar products, so these are the customers, so he is clean, so that they can be able to invest your money on you, right? Okay. Right. Second one, the other one is we are going to discuss about financial plannings and projections, right? Why do we have to have a plan, right? So plan matters, even for our day-to-day living and for our lives, for education, for our academics, for our future. We have to have a plan. So it is very important to have a planned business in order to make achievable in our lives, right? Our business wise, right? So we have to have a good plan for the cash flow, burn rate, and break even analysis, right? So cash flow, what are our income resources, what are our ways of expenses, and how much expenses we are making. So what are the ways that our cashes are getting burned, means how much we are spending annually or average, right? And break even analysis, right? So whenever we are having some problems, or how much loss we are making, so whenever we are facing some problems, how we are going to handle such things. So these are the plans you have to have already. So these plans should be discussed, or should be presented during the presentations, which will be an added benefit to you, right? So the investors will be very satisfied, because you are having a proper plan about handling the finances, whatever you are getting, right? So projections, especially the financial projection, is estimating revenue. You have to submit the estimated report. Though you are predicting, it must be an acceptable value, right? You can't say if you give 1 crore within a one period of time, I will return 10 crore. Nobody believes. You are not a magician, right? So you have to estimate it mathematically, right? And you have to show him that over the period of 1 year, if you invest 1 crore to my business, I'll be able to make exactly 1.5 crore or 2 crore, such as like that, and this is your cut, and I will be getting this one, right? So this is how you are going to convince him with a believable with a acceptable range of money or figures, right? So estimated revenue, you have to estimate whatever the revenue you are going to do it, but do it mathematically, not with a magical way, right? Expenses and losses or profits or whatever, everything should be included, right? And profit over 3 to 5 years. So usually whenever we are pitching idea, we are not pitching it, we are not collaborating, we are not cooperating for a year, we ask for 3 to 5 years of collaborations, right? So that's how it happens, right? So we don't say I just need money for 1 year, then I will be able to get enough money back, I will return your money, then you can go your way, I will be taking care of the business. Nobody is going to take, right? No, we have to make sure that we are going to be with them for a certain period of time, so that they will also generate income from the investments. We will be also getting the benefits for a certain time period, which is considered as 3 to 5 years minimum. Investment negotiations and terms, in business there are so much things to be negotiated, because why? two types of individuals are going to be there: investors and the project pitchers, right? So you are the one who is having the plan. In the other side you will be having the investors, right? So two are different individuals, different educational background, different experiences, different ethical backgrounds. So everything is totally different, right? So you are not going to get the investments from your uncle or aunt, right? So if it's so, it's you are very lucky, right? But if you are talking with a third person and a strange person, it is very hard to negotiate with him, right? Because why? Investor's perspective, the more profit he gets by using you, he will like you, right? Whatever the profit share or whatever the cut you are providing to the investments, to the investor, he tries to increase that. Hey, give me 70%, give me 80%, 80-20, 70-30, right? Nobody likes 50-50, because why? You don't have enough money, but he has money, you just have idea, right? But some investors, right? So it depends from their personal characteristics. Some people are very understandable, they are okay, yeah, you have idea, I have money, let's go with 50-50, right? Most times nobody likes 50-50, because why? They don't evaluate the idea along with the amount whatever they are pumping into, right? Because for 3 to 5 years they are in the need of pumping money into your business, right? So you simply have the prototype and you simply have the idea, right? So for a certain period you have to accept whatever the share they are providing you, in order to make sure that you are getting good businesses and all. And after the period of 3 to 5 years, or after the contract period, whatever you are making with the investor, you can go with another term that, yeah, this is the time to go for a 50-50 share, or we can divide the business into two parts, or whatever. It's up to you whenever you are succeeded in the business, or whenever you think at that point is the success of your business, so that you can make your own decision to go away, or having a collaboration with another one, or just continuing the collaboration with the same investor, right? So my point here is, there are moments where you have to negotiate with a hard person, right? So you can't be a rigid person, or you can't be a very angry person whenever you are doing a business. You must be a very nice person, but very wise person as well. Key terms, in order to do the negotiations, you have to know the key terms, such as, you have to know these key terms, but not for your biomedical science examinations, but whenever you are doing your businesses, such as equity, valuation, dilution, existing strategies. I just want to introduce the terms, right? But nobody is going to ask you, what do you mean by valuation, right? It is more financial side questions, right? Just to give you an introduction about these things, right? Okay, but if you are very much interested, you can contact me. I'm very much happy to tell you, because I'm from the industry. Though I'm having the healthcare and engineering background, we are doing the same businesses in the industry, so I'll be able to assist you if you are very much interested about that one, right? So being said that apart, this is your main area where you need to get an introduction about your about the business, and from the perspective of business, how you have to launch your ideas. So that's only you need to know about this, right? So having your domain as the core one, having these ideas as a side one, maybe it will help you for your future in order to construct your own businesses and all, right? Okay, and there are so much strategies available, how to construct a successful business deal, how to understand the investor, how to read the psychology of the investor, so that you can stimulate him as per your wish, right? So there are so many strategies, right? So you will learn once you jump into the industry, right? So as of now, just make sure that there are negotiations. Means you have to mutually understand, you have to mutually come up, both parties must be mutually come up for a certain decision, right? Both parties must synchronize, must come together at a certain point to make a deal, right? So that's what we call negotiations, right? So far that's fine. In order to go for the negotiations, we have to go with a couple of financial terms, such as equity, valuation, dilutions, and these things, whatever I showed, right? So other than that, no need to worry about these things, no need to write definitions for that. I'm not going to set the questions in order to write the definitions for these ones, right? So in most of the questions, whatever I'm going to send it to you, I'll be sending the questions to the person who is responsible for this entire module. I'm just sharing a couple of things from the module, so I'm not going to set the entire paper. I will be sending the questions from my perspectives, whatever I am teaching to you, right? So most of the questions, whatever I am teaching you, will be covered like case studies, right? Because I'll be telling you a case study. For example, assume you are an entrepreneur and you would like to sell some medical devices. So what are the stages you are going to take part? What are the stages that you need to follow in order to launch your products? What are the certifications that you need to obtain your market? For example, if you need to launch your product from US to Sri Lanka, if you import, what are the stages that you need to try? So similar to that, case study questions will be asked for my talks, right? So other than that, I'm not going to ask you any definitions or any other things too much technically or from the financial background, just case studies. So understand the talk, whatever I have delivered to you, understand the slides, go through the slides, right? So try to feel it, how much or what are the steps that you need to go through or you need to pass in order to carry out your successful business. So imagine that you are an entrepreneur, and what's the stages that you need to pass in order to set up a successful business, right? So most of the questions will be based on case studies. Okay, students? Okay, right. Finally, I would like to give you some ideas about risk management. Whatever the plans you have or how much planning you are having, there will be a risk, right? Even though you are having a very successful plan, having a good plan, or having a insurance over your business, or having a good safe plan, or having a plan B, whatever it is, right? Being a safe side is okay, but you can't make sure what the future is going to give you, right? How much the market is going to suddenly change. Because why? For example, if we take COVID situations, the pandemic situations, most of the industries got very damaged, right? So we don't know, we can't predict, right? Because nowadays we have heard that monkeypox is getting spread even in Sri Lanka. Some of the private hospitals accepted that they got some patients getting affected from the monkeypox, right? So no one knows what's going to happen, right? Sometimes the pandemic situations can be repeated again, or sometimes there won't be any pandemic situations at all, right? So no one knows, right? So having a good plan is very good for you, but that doesn't mean it will provide you 100% safety, right? So risk management is the situations whenever unplanned situations occurs, how you are going to react, right? So this is what you have to manage, right? So types of risks: regulatory, market, technical, and financial. So types of these are the risks where they can be taken places, right? So they can be in the regulatory side, marketing sides, technical sides, and financial sides, right? Whether you planned it already, whether you expected risks or unexpected risks, right? So the thing is, you have to have enough technical and physical skills to go through to pass these these risks. Okay, so mitigation strategies, diversification, and insurance and contingency planning. So again, these are the safety protocols that you can handle during these risk situations, but no one provides you 100% cover, no one provides you 100% safety, no plan provides you 100% safety. That's my point, right? So you have to understand some certain losses, or you have to understand some certain damages whatever occurs if some unexpected risk situation occurs, right? So it matters. You can have a proper plan, students, in order to make 90% safeguarded. The 10 you just leave it, right? Whatever happens, just happened, right? Other than that, you will be having too much pressure on your head, right? Okay, so that's the summary of my talk about the biomedical entrepreneurship. So these are the very first slides. We already have that. We already talked about that, right? So any questions, or you would like to share something with me, or you would like to get any questions from me about the industry, or would you like to get some ideas for your what for your ideas means for your future. Would you like to get some any ideas or whatever, because we have another 20 minutes, so that we can share some ideas in order to have some successful business, or in order to become a successful entrepreneur for your future, or whatever. You can ask me. This is not too much technical, right? So we have covered something, an extra from your biomedical engineering side, right? Sorry, biomedical science side, right? So this is not your core module. This is something extra that you need to go for, right? Okay. So any questions, students? You are free to ask now. Any questions so far? You may send questions if you really like to clarify. So as I have told you, most of the question types, right? Most of your questions from my area, I'm not sure about the other areas. For the area what I have shared with you will be based on case studies, right? I'm not sure whether am I going to give area or not. Okay. Whatever the question you are getting, whether for assignments or for final exams, case studies, right? So no other technical or no other financial side or commerce related questions, no. Field case study questions. So you have to just understand the slides, understand the talks, whatever we talked. Any questions? So maybe I can share you a scenario which is similar question, which is similar to the question whatever you are going to obtain, right? So let me share you a scenario. Right, so let me show you a question where you can get a what you call some case study questions. so that you can get an idea, right, how the question is going to be from my slides. Give me a minute. I'll show you an example question. Seems the connection is not good enough. Students, please have a look at this scenario. This is a type of a scenario where you maybe get a similar question, right? So not too much technical, just understand, just read the scenario, just read it once, right? Dr. Jane Smith, a biomedical engineer, has developed a novel wearable device that monitors real-time glucose level in diabetic patients. Unlike traditional continuous glucose monitoring, her device is non-invasive. Non-invasive means we are not putting it into the human body, more accurate, and offers predictive analytical through an integrated AI system. After initial successful trials, so obviously she has completed her clinical trials and securing a small seed funding round. So seed funding, that means the initial funding, right? For in order to start go for this phase 1, right? The initial funding is seed funding, right? She is now looking to scale up her startup, Glucotech Innovations, right? Okay, now you understand the scenario. So from her side, she has done everything. Now it is from the investments, from the funding sides, right? Students, are you able to listen to me? Because I'm just discussing another important question, because similar to this question only you will be having some questions from my side. Are you listening? Are you able to listen to me? Yeah, great. Okay. So see the questions that I'm going to ask you is, these are the questions. So whenever you are having some similar scenarios, you are having these kind of questions. For example, I'll be able to ask market strategy, based on market strategy as per this scenario, right? So what strategies should Dr. Smith employ to differentiate her product from competitors and gain a significant market share? So consider factors such as innovation, pricing, partnership, and customer acquisition. So right, so we are not having any answers from the books, right? So it's all up to your mind, your thoughts, your personal ideas, right? Second questions may be from the perspective of regulatory pathways. So what are the regulatory things that she needs to take care of? What are the approvals she needs to take care, right? Funding side. Identify potential funding resources and strategies Dr. Smith could pursue to raise additional capital for her startup. Discuss the pros and cons of each fundings, right? So these are the similar questions you will be having. So get the idea, right? You will be having a scenario. So this is what we call case studies, having a scenario, and there will be questions as based on the scenario. You need to understand from the theory parts, whatever we studied, you need to have some own ideas, then find your own answers, right? So no books are going to provide the answers. You go with your own answers, with your flow, right? Even if I give you some assignment questions, also similar to this, right? So ethical considerations. So what are the things she needs to consider ethically, such as what ethical challenges might Dr. Smith face in development and commercialization of a product, right? So you just provide your own answers from your own ideas from these slides, right? So simple. So these are the sample questions, right? Right? Any questions or any ideas or any confusion, students? Right. So have you understand how the questions are going to be asked? Have you understood? Okay, great. Right. So, if you do not have any questions and if you are clear enough about the modules, whatever I have shared, it is already posted in your team. Please have a look and download it and just go through it in order to recap it. So these are the samples. So I believe you get clear ideas about these perspectives of business ideas, entrepreneurship, how to become a successful business owner and all, right? So I believe and I wish you all the very best for your exams and for these types of modules. You have to have enough personal ideas, right? Not obviously from the theory parts. No, we do not have any theory parts. Your own ideas, your own startup or your own innovative ideas, right? So I wish you all the very best for good marks. Do well for your exams and assignments, right? So please do not hesitate to contact me at any time. You know my personal number or my email ID, just asking for any assistance and all, right? All the very best, students. Thank you so much. So thank you for being participated in this talk. Thank you so much. Right, bye.